What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope all you had a wonderful day so far today. Hope all of you had a wonderful weekend. Um, Getting into this episode of GH, I was so confused after Friday's episode because when Nikolas asked Ava for a divorce, I was wondering where the hell he was going with this. Like, what do you mean divorce? And then once he went into further detail of what he's talking about, my first thought was, are you smoking good crack? Like, that sounded like the dumbest idea I think Nicholas has ever had. So his plan is divorce Ava because he feels like the current marriage that they're in is unsalvageable. It's dead. It's like, there was just so many issues in that first marriage, especially with the way that they got married. So I understand all that. But his idea to divorce her so that way they can get married again, so that way they can have a clear, fresh new marriage with no drama or whatever, no lies, no games. That sounded stupid. To me, it sounded very dumb. Because I'm like, first of all, if you really want to start over with her, why not tell her everything? Why not tell her that you slept with Esme? That's the only way to start over. Because if you don't tell her that and you sit here and go through the process of a divorce and you sign paperwork, then you got to do a whole new marriage license, then you have to go through the wedding again just to get married, and she finds that out, it would have all been for nothing. It would have all been for naught. So why do all of that? Why go through all that hassle if you're not going to be totally honest now? That means that you're starting what's supposed to be a fresh start in a fresh new marriage. You're starting it with lies and secrecy. It's no difference than the marriage that you claim is the current marriage that's dead and unsalvageable. That's going to make this new marriage dead and unsalvageable, don't you think? I'm just saying, like, his idea was just dumb. And Ava had her, feelings about it because she felt like, okay, so say we go through this divorce and something happens again that's going to derail us from getting married again. My thing is, Ava need to let this marriage go. I would gladly give him a divorce, take my coins, and go about my damn business and get out of that dreary ass castle. That castle looked like it's something straight out of the Addams family. I'm just saying. I feel like Morticia about to come out of one of them damn corners any second. I'm like, listen, get your ass out that castle. Like, that family got way too much drama, and get away from there. Ava, get away. But Ava, she like her some good drama, so I'm not even surprised that she would entertain this foolishness. But she need to let that marriage go immediately. Let it go. Like, file your divorce papers, get half or whatever you could get half of, and get the hell on. That's how I feel at this point. Let that shit go. And he gonna sit there and try to tell Laura about this foolishness. If I was Laura, I would tell him about himself. Like, that got to be the dumbest idea I felt I've ever heard. Ain't that what vow renewals are for? What's the whole point of going through a whole divorce when you could just renew your vows, start fresh that way, instead of going through a whole divorce? Like, I'm just saying, it's just dumb. Totally dumb. I'm like, I wouldn't go through all that shit. Ava better than me if she's sitting there entertaining that, because I damn sure wouldn't entertain that foolishness he talking. I would just call Scott, had that paper ready for him. He could sign it, give me my check. I could be on my damn way. You can go hook up with whatever female you want to hook up with at this point, because I wouldn't entertain that dumb shit, because that just feels very dumb to me. Um. So anyway, moving on from that, I'm glad Laura kind of told Spencer about himself and money, because I ain't like the foolishness that Spencer was doing. Like, now that you got yourself a little bit of money, and I felt bad because I felt like he was rubbing that in Cameron's face a little bit. Like on Friday's episode when he told Cam, "Oh, I quit." Cam is basically working double duty, trying to help his mother out financially and stuff like that. His mother is in Shady Brook. He's trying to keep the family together, trying to help out with his little brothers, and you come up in here now with this foolishness and talking about how you getting $10,000 a week when this boy's sitting over here struggling financially. If I was Cameron, I would have knocked him on his ass and told him to get back to work. I'm just saying, like, you ain't about to come up in my face talking about, oh, I'm getting 10 grand a week. Bitch, get on somewhere. That is so, that's tacky. But anyway, I'm glad Laura, gave him a dressing down, because she was like, listen, you and money ain't good. And I felt like, she just wanted to make sure Spencer finally learned his lesson, because you went from, at one point, Spencer went from being the haves to the have nots. You know what I'm saying? Now that you are a part of the haves again, Don't forget when you were a have not. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad she's trying to keep him level headed. Like, you got some coin coming in every week because $10,000 a week is it's a lot of damn money. I mean, woo, that's a lot of coin right there. That's a lot. 10 grand a week. Oh my God. I would probably never work again if I had $10,000 a week. I would never do no type of work again. I would just be vacationing, living life. Like, I'm just saying. Like, I probably would. But I'm glad she told him about that. So Spencer, I guess, got it in his mind that he may have another trick up his sleeve where Esme is concerned because Laura wants him to reconcile with all his friends. But he knows that as long as he's still with Esme, him and Trina is not gonna happen. If I had it my way, him and Trina wouldn't happen at all because I prefer her with Rory at this point. Um, but he came up with some new idea because he figured the way to bring Esme down is to dig into her past, like to use the past. So now his plan is to spend every moment with Esme. Good luck with that one. I guess he feels like she might slip up and say something. It's a possibility, but I doubt it. Only way to get Esme to slip up and say something incriminating about herself, you have to be slick. You have to be slicker than her. You have to be cunning. You know what I mean? I don't know if Spencer could pull that off right now because he's failed in the past. You know what I mean? Like this original plan of his took way too long to figure out and it went nowhere. So I'm like, I don't know what he think this is going to accomplish. More power to you. I hope you can get it done. Hopefully, because this plan ain't working. So anyway, moving on from that. So I think these episodes were filmed out of order because just before we had Chad back in a position as Michael, now we got Robert Adamson back as Michael. So I think these scenes were filmed out of order, I guess, because now Robert Adamson is back as Temp Michael again. So I guess playing Michael temporarily. So and it's good to see Robert Adamson. I like him as Michael. Don't get me wrong, Chad been doing a good job, but Robert is a breath of fresh air. Um, so, him and Drew still talking about this merger or whatever because Drew was looking at the numbers and he was like, Aurora stocks are skyrocketing right now. And, Michael was happy about that and whatnot and trying to figure out who's buying up all those shares. And of course, Carly's the one buying up all that stock. My thing is, that happens a lot with companies. You know how, like, before a merger goes down, the stocks are doing great, they're up, people are making money. But usually when a merger happens, that's when the bubble bursts. It just, just bursts and everybody loses their shirts in the deal. And Michael was not too keen on Carly being an investor in the first place, and he's still not too happy about it because now the pressure is on. Carly, she wouldn't say how much stock she bought, but it's a pretty nice chunk. She bought a significant share of Aurora to help them take Valentin down. And Michael feels like the pressure is on now more than ever because, and that's what made me feel like Michael and Drew is a little shady because now y'all worried about Carly losing her money if this thing don't succeed. But what about the other shareholders? What about the other investors? Y'all wasn't worried about their money? Like, that seemed a little shady to me. Cause I feel like some companies think like that. Some CEOs. Like, oh, when it's our family investing, oh, we worry. But when it's other people investing, oh, we ain't that worried. Bitch, you better be worried about my money. I'm just saying, you better be. Don't sit here and just worry about money because it's your mama money. I got my fortune up in here too. A good chunk of my fortune. So you better take care of that or I'm coming for your ass. I'm just saying. So now they have to make sure that they got all their ducks in a row because at this point, in order to get this merger off the ground, it's all hands on deck. They need Ned, they need Lucy, they need everybody they can get that's a stockholder. Anybody of significance to the company, they need. So of course they started, poaching Lucy to get her vote. And the first thing out of Lucy's mouth was, is Valentin doing a bad job? And Drew and them was like, not that I can say. I'm like, exactly. He's not doing a bad job as CEO. Only thing they could bring up is, well, he's not a quartermain. That's the best y'all can do? In my opinion, see, this is what irritates me. I'm like, I get that ELQ is a family business. I get it. But my thing is, if the current CEO is making me money and he's bringing in a pile of money, why would I change that person out? Why would I take them out of the CEO chair when all you could tell me is, oh, he not family? That's the best you can do? If you want me to vote with you to remove a CEO that's making me a good amount of money, You need to come better than that. You need to come harder than that. You need to show me that, okay, he's incompetent as a CEO, profits are down. You need to come at me from a business angle, not from a personal angle. I'm just saying. I feel like this is all personal for them and not business. And I don't mix business and pleasure. That's what I don't do. My business is over here. The personal and pleasure is over there. We separate the two around here because I don't let, personal mess with my money. That's what I don't do. You know what I'm saying? So for Michael and Drew to sit there and come at her with that foolishness, if I was Lucy, I wouldn't entertain it. They try to sweeten the pot for her, talking about, oh, if they try to whisper to her about the merger because they don't want nobody knowing about it or whatever. And they pretty much offered her cheaper rates on her ads and stuff for deception and all that mess. Trying to butter her up, sweeten the pot. And they feel like Lucy is seriously considering their offer. I'm like, of course she's gonna seriously consider it. She's a businesswoman. But if it were me, I would consider it, of course. But would I do it? No, because that's your pitch. And she pretty much felt like they were trying to pitch to her. And if that's the best pitch that you got, and that's all you can say to me, I would not have to vote with you. I can't vote with you. I I would have to make business. It would have to make business sense in order for me to vote with you. And I just felt like they weren't saying nothing that made sense. You know what I mean? It just sounded personal to me and not business. So anyway, moving on from that. So Jordan had to tell Martin that the FBI, the feds and stuff don't feel like Cyrus was a part of the attack on him and Laura. When they were in witness protection. That's because he wasn't. It was Victor. Valentin was being nice. He was like, I can get you around the clock, security and stuff like that. And, Mike Martin was like, no, I'm good. He was like, he more worried about Laura than himself. He can take care of himself. He's just more worried about her. I love the bond between Martin and Laura. That bond that they built up over time. I love it. But Valentin got more bigger fish to fry right now. He's trying to maintain his seat at the head of the ELQ table. And he's determined to keep his seat, as CEO of the company. You know what I mean? And he's hopeful that Ned will come around and see things his way and vote with him and they can run the company together and stuff like that. And, Martin pretty much guaranteed that he could use his influence on Lucy to, get her to vote Valentin's way. Because Valentin, he's determined to keep his seat because, he feels like it's vital that he maintains his spot as CEO because, after Nikolas and Ava pretty much took back Windermere and Nikolas took back Cassadine Industries, ELQ is the only thing he has right now. And he is not about to lose it. And I can't blame him for that. He's going to work like hell to keep it. Hopefully he can. Because I feel like Valentin's been doing a good job as far as we can see and hear. He hasn't been a horrible CEO. I mean, look what he did for Cassadine Industries. They were on the brink of bankruptcy before he took over. When he took over, he turned that entire company around, made it way more profitable. So if he could do that for that company and bring it from the brink of bankruptcy, look what he can do for ELQ. So anyway, Jordan, her and Sonny was having a little chit chat because Sonny is irritated right about now. His coffee shipment is still sitting in the middle of the harbor. And he was like, every hour that damn shipment is sitting in the harbor, he's losing money. So he basically told Jordan, listen, pull some strings, do what you got to do to get my shipment over here. Jordan was like, ain't shit I could do. She was like, ain't nothing I could do for you. I don't handle that. She said, I ain't got nothing to do with that. So you going to have to figure it out. She basically gave him this spiel about how he shouldn't give up on his kids and whatnot, because they were trying to compare the whole TJ and Michael situation. I'm like, there's no real comparison. And that's when Carly pulled up and him and Carly went to go in the office and talk, and stuff like that. And Sonny pretty much felt like, Michael was like, I ruined my relationship with the kids. And he was shocked that Carly agreed with Michael. My thing is, why are you surprised that Carly is agreeing with Michael? Carly been felt like she don't, ever since Sonny came back, she felt like she didn't know who he was since he's been back. He's been totally different. So now the stunts that you have pulled in the name of protecting Nina has cost you your relationship with Michael. It's costing you right now in your personal life. It definitely is. I ain't gonna lie. I do understand where Carly coming from because it is. Dante has been neutral in this thing. as neutral as he can be. He's still trying to be there for Sonny and stuff like that, but also tell him about himself. Sonny's gonna have to, really take stock and figure out like what's more important, my relationship with this woman or my kids. But the moves that Michael's making on him, they're pretty much damn near at the brink of a point of no return. So I don't know how all that's gonna play out, but it's gonna get a lot more messy before it get better. That's for damn sure. I'm just saying, it's getting messy. It's not gonna get any better anytime soon between all of them. So anyway, moving on from that. I love the scenes between Ryan, Esme, and Felicia. Felicia was not playing. She was adamant about seeing Ryan. Um, because she was pretty much trying to warn Esme, like, listen, it's in your best interest to get away from this fool. And she told Esme the truth. She was like, listen, when he's done with you, when you fulfilled your purpose, he's gonna discard you. He's probably gonna, kill you even. Um, And Esme was like, shit. She was like, well, I'll keep that in mind. And Esme is. Esme knows what type of person Ryan is. I'm pretty sure she got a backup plan for him. Because Ryan is definitely planning something wicked. I cannot believe. I ain't even gonna say I can't believe. I do believe that Ryan is sick enough to pimp out his own daughter. Because that's essentially what he's doing. Like, he is pimping that girl out. To Nikolas and stuff like that. Like, he don't even care that she slept with Nikolas. And he claims that he has a part 2 to his plan. Like, he's definitely planning something else. Because Esme's trying to play the long game. She's like, listen, it'll be beneficial if I hold on to this secret right now. And I think a part of her plan is to get pregnant. Because she feels like if she just blurts out to Ava that, oh, I slept with your husband, she feels like Ava and Nikolas can get past that. But it might be different if she pops up with a baby. Because there's no way Ava's going to get past that. I don't see Ava forgiving it. Infidelity, she's going to be pissed. She might forgive him down the line. But a child on top of the infidelity, I don't see it. And I think that's what Esme's planning. That might be a better plan for her. And I think she may be right. Felicia was shook when Ryan came out of that room with that guard. Because she looked at his face and he had a hint of a smirk on his face and she caught that. And she looked shook when she seen that shit. I was like, Felicia, get your gun ready. Get your gun ready and shoot his ass. But it was so funny because he was sitting there communicating to Esme and stuff like that. And Esme was telling Felicia what he was saying. And he was like, oh, Felicia's the bomb. And that's when she was like, yeah, this is just one of his many little games that he liked to play. Because he had broke up her wedding with a bomb and stuff like that. I love when Felicia and Ryan go toe to toe. Because he feels like Felicia is one of his disappointments. And he was hoping Esme wouldn't be a disappointment to him. I mean, you're a disappointment as a father. I really want to know if that's really her dad or not, because I know that she called him daddy, but when she called him daddy, it just seemed very sick to me. Like, it looked like it was not the kind of daddy, like, how you would call the man that brought you into this world. It's more like, a more seductive type of daddy. You know what I mean? Like, you got to know the difference between the two. And that's what it sounded like to me, like they got some sick little relationship. So again, I think we're gonna need some DNA on this to find out if that's really her daddy or her daddy. You know what I mean? Like, which one is it? But anyway, hit the comment section. Let me know what you all thought about this episode, and I will see you all later. Have a great day. Peace.